Hey guys, welcome back. Merijn here from Superyacht Times. As you probably have read, or if you keep track of the market, you probably know, 2021 has been a crazy year for the superyacht market. In this episode, we're going to look at some of the numbers. As you all know, we do a big market report, which is planned to come out just after the first quarter of this year, and that will have a very detailed overview. But I want to already share with you some first insights on what has happened in the market. So first of all, let's look at the fleet. As of today, the fleet of superyachts consists around 5,400 yachts, all over 30 meters, of which are 842 sailing yachts and the rest are motor yachts. 2021 was actually not a crazy year for the number of new boats that completed. We saw 151 yachts being delivered. Probably, we're still early in the new year, so probably we get a few more here and there, but I don't think it will surpass the 160. And these boats were built in 13 different countries. If we look at the previous years, then the number has actually always been around the 150 mark. 2018, 150 deliveries, 19, 156, 2020, 150. Some of the biggest deliveries of 2021 we have covered very well on Superyacht Times. You might have seen the videos as well of the 142 meter Nord from Leusen, the 139.7 meter Solaris from Lloydwerf, another Leusen Apo 115 meters designed by Nuvolari and Lennart, and two fat ships, the 95 meter Bliss and the 94 meter FIFA. So for big boats, it was for deliveries also a very good year. For the market, we are going to look at a few things. Of course, there are the number of sales, used boats, new boats, but also how many boats were newly listed on the market and price updates, how many price updates. Because these things are important as well and say something about the state of the market. So let's first have a look at the number of new yachts that were listed for sale. There were some big boats amongst them, like the 108 meter Benetti IG and the 92 meter Tatouche, which was listed early last year. But the number of new yachts that came on the market were around 533 yachts in 2021. And is that high or is that low? Well, if we compare that to previous years, it's actually lower. 2020 there were 584 yachts listed for sale of used yachts, and 2019 573, and 2018 over 600. So there were less yachts offered for sale on the market. Price updates. So price updates give us a bit of a feeling of our boats really, if the price updates, there is a lot of them, it probably means you need a lot of price changes to convince people to buy it. So probably the market is not very strong. And besides the number of price updates, you have also the average price reduction per price change. So let's have a look at some numbers. In 2020 there were over 800 price updates, 815. 2019 even more, 892. And to 2018 around 800 as well. And in all these years the average reduction was between 9 and 10%, or just a bit more than 10%. 2021 we only saw just under 700 price updates, and the average price change was 6.8%. The interesting thing is we saw quite a number of price increases as well, and maybe a little bit less on the used boat market, but especially on the new construction side, the shipyard raised their prices. And not just because there's more demand than they can offer, but it's also as we all see in the economy, the supply chain is harder to get good people, it's harder to get products, it's the inflation is going up, so everything is getting a bit more expensive, and it's the same for the shipyards. So the big thing of 2021, how many yachts were there sold? Well, let's start first of all with the used yacht sales over 30 meters. So let's say 2018 338 yachts sold, 2019 304, 2020 326. So all around the 300 330 mark. Then if we look at 2021, we see an increase of 43% compared to 2020. We had 466 used yacht sales over 30 meters. It's an incredible number. So what were some of the big sales? Of course, in a previous video, I mentioned the 105 meter Lady Mora and 126 meter Octopus. But also in the last quarter of 2021, we had some nice sales, including the 86 meter Ocean Coast 7 Seas, which is now called Man of Steel, and the 17 meter Lewis and Scott, also one of my personal favorites. Very cool boat. It's not only the used yacht sales which were interesting to follow this year, but also the new yacht sales. Let's have a look at the previous record year. That was 2007. We had 298 yachts sold, new yachts sold over 30 meters, so almost 300. If we look at the past few years, 2018 it was 212, 2019 177, 2020 154. So 2020 was really a bad year for most shipyards. As of today, when I'm recording this video, we have counted 294 new yacht sales. But I just spoke to our head of intelligence, Rolf de Asset, and he says it's going to be over 300 new yacht sales. The reason is, we're still processing all the numbers, getting all the numbers in, and with we already have, we are confident it's going to cross the 300 new yacht sales, which will mean it will be the best year ever for shipyards. What are some of the biggest projects sold in 2021? Of course, some of them are never announced because they're very confidential, but one of the bigger ones was announced was a 120 meter project by German shipyard Abeking and Rasmussen. They didn't reveal many details, but it's very exciting to see them, already with 118 meter, also getting another 100 meter plus contract. Also, Turquoise has signed their largest project today, the 87 meter Vento, and they really are doing well there as well. So it's great to see it's not only German and Dutch shipyards who do well, but especially Italians, they sell a lot as well, but it's also the Turkish shipyards who are doing very well this year. So if we're going to look at the number of boats under construction right now, we have around 550 yachts under construction. Compared to last year was 500, so it's increased about 10%. What is interesting to note is that in about a year ago, early 2021, end of 2020, 35%, so around 1/3 of all the boats under construction were for sale. As of today, it's just under 18%. So the shipyards have sold a lot of boats. Is 2022 going to be another great year for the superyacht industry? For that, you have to wait a little bit longer because that video is coming out soon. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this recap of 2021.